Hi everybody, Joe Rizoli here, your resident Let's Speak About Illegal Immigration man. You gotta hear this. At our city council meeting, our city council members were asking some certain questions. In particular, we have a Brazilian city council member who's basically concerned with the illegal immigrant Brazilians that are in the town of Framingham. She doesn't say that, but I can guarantee you when you see what she's trying to ask and what they talk about, you'll understand that. What just happened here is that Miss Margaret Shepard, she brought up a couple of questions, and the last question she brought up was about the secure communities, where the police work with the community and make sure that the immigrants are treated right and they're not arrested, and there's nobody coming after them, because after all, they want the immigrants to come to the police when there's a report of a crime. Unfortunately, the crimes that happen with the immigrants and the illegal immigrants are mostly produced by the immigrants and the illegal immigrants. You're not going to find general people in the population, citizens, attacking or stealing from the immigrants or illegal immigrants. So the point is, this is all happening within the community, amongst the community, and a immigrant or illegal immigrant would be pretty stupid to come against their own people, because they'd probably have the hell beat out of them or killed. So that's basically where the Safe Communities Act is. Now, Mr. Jack Lewis, who's forgot what country he represents, you might think he's representing Brazil or Mexico, because you're going to listen to now what he says about the Secure Communities Act. Let's listen.
Relates to the Safe Communities Act, I was wholeheartedly in support of the original draft. It's been redrafted, which has breathed new life into it, and with the support of the police chiefs, I'm more optimistic, as I told you a couple days ago, than I was a month ago. But not a single day has gone by without me hearing a story of a resident in Framingham or a surrounding town that whose life hasn't been affected by changes in immigration policy over the last year. And as I was just telling somebody at Taste of Metro West, what's happening isn't 30 trucks coming in and rounding up entire neighborhoods, but it's these surgical removals from the community, not of criminals that are doing awful things, but people who've been active in their churches, active in the community for not 2 years, not 15 years, but in some cases 30 years.
All right, let's pause this for a second. Now, what these people used to complain about is that truckloads would come in and take a whole community out, and arrest everybody. That happened in Fall River, I believe. They came in and arrested 300
Didn't they do that in California
people.
too?
I mean, they came in and they arrested 300 people. Oh, they're all upset because all the kids and their parents didn't know where their parents were, and they were all upset. He's talking about people. Now, he says they have not committed any crime. Now, remember, he brings out a good point. They're not coming by the truckloads to gather everybody up. They're coming in surgically and getting one person or another. Now, that's how it should be. There are some of these people that have been here for 10, 15, 20, 30 years that have overstayed their visas. They had to go to court, and they were told they had to leave the country. Okay? That's it. Leave. They didn't leave the country. Now they are in violation of the immigration laws, and they could be arrested. He makes it sound like, oh, there's no criminality. ICE doesn't come after people unless there's a real serious break in the law.
Most of the reasons they come against these people is because they have deportation
orders
and
okay.
It's been on them for years.
Right, and now they're finally catching up to this person. And Mr. Lewis brings out the fact, oh, they've been here all these years and they go to church. Oh, really? They go to church? So let me think. They go to church and they've overstayed their visa. They broke the law. The documents that they're using are fake and false. They probably have false licenses that came from Washington State. I have these too. I've seen these. Washington State, then they get one in Virginia, and then they come to Massachusetts. Totally bogus and false. And he's making it sound like these people are just, oh, they're just such wonderful angels we have working in the town. They go to church, they pay their taxes, and they work so hard. Oh my God, I'm pulling out the violin. Let's listen more to this nonsense.
A little over an hour ago, about somebody who was literally at the courtroom here, did what they needed to do for the day, left the courthouse, and was picked up. And so what we hear on CNN about these things happening in California, they're happening in town, and the Safe Communities Act isn't the magic wand to solve all of this, but it's a step in the right direction.
All right, let me pause that. Now, think about it. Why do the ICE agents go to the courts to arrest somebody? Because when these people go to court and they have to go through these metal detectors, they can't have any weapons on them, anything, nothing. This is the best time to get these people in an environment where they can be arrested without the ICE agents saying, geez, am I going to be stabbed, shot, my cruiser, whatever, being run into? And this is why they come to the courts. What he wants, and what Jamie Eldridge wants, and Chris Walsh wants, and Karen Spilka wants, is they want these people released, and so they can get the hell out of Dodge. That means the ICE agents now don't know where the hell these people are if they go back home, and they don't know if they have weapons, they don't know if they have anything. They are putting these ICE agents in the worst possible unsafe community problem that you can ever imagine. But they don't look at it that way. They're taking the side of the poor immigrant who's been here so long and he's worked so hard.
Other states have done it, something very similar, and I think our local immigrant community deserves at least that much, and I'm going to continue talking about it until it happens. And as Senator Karen Spilka said, Jamie Eldridge has taken the lead on this in the Senate, along with a lot of his colleagues. And
let me just bring something up about Jamie Eldridge. I called Jamie Eldridge's office and I talked to one of the girls in his office. Senator Eldridge, right. I went and I made a phone call. A Brazilian girl answered the phone. And I started asking her questions. Do you know she didn't like the questions I was starting to ask her? Because I asked her, how did your parents come into America? She hung up on me. After 5 minutes of discussion, she realized where I was going with all this. She hung up on me. That's Jamie Eldridge's office. Nice guy.
So there's a good chance she's an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Or the parents came in here illegally, and she is too. Yeah. And she's working for Mr. Eldridge in the office. Jamie Eldridge has done everything possible to protect these illegal immigrants. And anytime you see anything written, a bill, he always brings up, well, we've got to do this for the immigrants or the people that don't speak the language. Totally bought out. A traitor to America. If he was living back in the 1600s, 1700s, he should be tarred and feathered and sent on a boat back to Brazil.
But I want to make a point about that girl. We're not saying that she is an illegal immigrant, but the fact that she hung up on you shows that she wasn't comfortable with what you were saying. So the only thing you can say is this, and you could probably be pretty good to say this, that her parents could have been illegal immigrants, and if she was born in this country, that's a whole other story.
I understand that, but I can bet you the parents were
there's a problem with this girl even being here or who she's related to.
Well, the fact that she hung up on me because I was asking questions.
Well, I'm just saying.
And the Miss Shepard, who he's talking to, I've emailed her. I've asked her about her immigrant experience in coming to America. I've asked her personal questions. Did you come here illegally? Did you marry somebody? Did you pay to marry somebody? I ask these questions because this is what the immigrants do. She never answered me any answers to any of my emails. So, believe me, having Miss Shepard as a city council woman in here is there for one reason, and one reason only, to be the spokesman for the immigrant community in particular the illegal immigrant Brazilians, who should be deported out of the country. But she's trying to stand up for them and try to protect them, because she brings up later on, I don't think we're going to play that, about workers, and we want to talk with the consulate from Brazil and blah, blah, blah. You can see where this is all heading. These people are so corrupt, and everything is just corrupt about it. I don't know, whatever.
We're going to keep at it. We're going to keep at it, but knowing that every day we work on it, another woman in her 60s who's committed no crime and who's lived in the United States in Framingham for 30 years is going to be plucked from her community. And
notice what he says. She's committed no crime. Really? She's committed no crime. Why is ICE coming after her? Because she has a deportation order. A deportation order from a judge.
Now, let me explain something about this. Let's say she came in the country 20 years ago. She could have got a deportation order like 3 or 4 years after. And she should have left the country.
But she didn't.
But she didn't leave the country, so that deportation order is still on her. So for some reason, she might have got stopped in a traffic stop, and they found out she had the deportation order. That's why they're coming after her, because they finally found her.
Right.
And now they're going to get her and say, okay, ma'am, you are going to be deported because you broke the law. Not because she's an innocent woman who just got plucked out of here because ICE had nothing better to do.
Yeah, and she's going to be surgically removed from the country.
30 or 40 trucks coming in and rounding up entire neighborhoods, we're not noticing it in the same way we would have, but it's happening. I digress from the original question, but
I'd just like to add that the change on the registry of motor vehicle now is going to bring more problem, because we have some people who they are living here for 10 or 20 years that were able to renew their driver's license because they have a social security number, and they've been perfect citizen for all those years, and now they're not going to be able to renew their license. Not that they are looking for a Real I.D. to travel, they just want to work.
Okay, now remember, they can't renew their license. Why? Because the Real I.D. Act, that's going to happen in the year 2020, they're going to start talking about, this was on the radio tonight too, the Real I.D. Act is going to ask for real birth certificates, real everything about who these people are. And she's admitting.
Well, Americans too.
Right, everybody. And the point is, they want to know who these people are. And what's going to happen is we're going to start finding out that these people are illegal and they don't belong in the country and working.
I want to just make out the point. She said they have Social Security numbers. Yeah. There's a couple of ways they can get these Social Security numbers being illegal immigrants, okay? First of all, they could steal them. Okay, they could take them from somebody, and now they have it. Okay, the other way is that they just kind of lied their way through the system, and they possibly got a Social Security number, through fraudulent means. Through fraud. So either way, again, illegal immigrants cannot get bona fide, true Social Security numbers unless there's a legal aspect to it. Okay? Just understand that. So these people who have Social Security numbers, again, they're going to have to find out a little bit more about those Social Security numbers, because if it's a real Social Security number, they're going to have a real bona fide Social Security card that was issued to them years ago when they got it.
Right. And the fact, and of course now she really doesn't care about the license, she wants them to be able to work. An illegal immigrant cannot work in the United States unless they have permission. One of these...
well, they have to have a visa. A special work visa.
But a work visa or whatever. These people don't have this. And she's defending them. Now remember, Framingham City Councilwoman is defending people that have used document fraud. They've lied on every single form, housing form, government form, everything, to get freebies, to get medical care.
They could get free housing.
Yeah.
They could get food stamps.
Yep.
The kids are going to get, obviously, free medical.
Right.
And they could get free medical, too.
Right.
Okay, because everything about them is fraudulent. They have fraudulent documents.
Right. And this woman,
Margaret Shepherd,
is protecting that type of person. And that's why she ran for office and got in. The stupid, dumb people of Framingham voted for her when I'm saying to myself, this woman is just going to do one thing, and she's going to try to savvy up to the
she's
immigrants.
Going to try to help the illegal
Right,
immigrants.
that's all she's going to do.
Right.
And every time she talks at the meetings, she's always there to protect them.
Going to face now, so the help of the delegation on approve the Safe Community Act would, stop at least a little bit on the deportation on case that people are not criminals.
Right, and if you hear issues...
Oh, notice she says, right, as they're not criminals. Right. See, Miss
Well, let's play what Spilka says.
Okay, listen to this.
Folks with problems with their license, please let us know, because we can try to intervene and help
right now
as well.
we're trying to keep people calm, to really understand the change that are going to happen, and that going to affect not only the driver's license itself, but the insurance companies. We don't know how they're going to react. So
there's something going on there, right, that I don't maybe know about.
Well, the insurance companies might not insure them if they see
right.
they don't have
right.
licenses.
So there's some. She's mentioning
right.
something that I don't have privy to.
Right, but I just want to make a point about Senator Spilker. Again,
right.
Senator Spilker, Rep. Patrick Lewis, and our other Rep.
Chris Walsh, Jamie Eldridge.
All these people do not represent the American people. They represent the illegal immigrant community. And again, Ms. Spilka here even says right here that if you hear of anything about somebody with a problem with the license, get back to us so that they can try to fix it.
Yeah, right.
The information closely, and I will reach out for you guys to help us to see how we can assist our community in that matter.
Great, thank you.
And on the Safe Communities Act, Representative Walsh was a co-sponsor of the initial bill and is also a co-sponsor of the redrafted bill. So I think we can safely say the delegation.
Okay, Representative Chris Walsh, you notice what he said, is part of this. See, Chris Walsh and all these people think it's great that these people are in the country. Anything that aids and abets an illegal person in this country is committing a felony. A federal felony. If you aid a person in their state in America, and I've mentioned this a million times, the ESL program in the schools is giving them a huge opportunity to learn English, which is nice if you're a legal resident.
They're using the building.
Right. They're using the buildings. They're educating these adult people to learn English, and the people are illegal immigrants. That's called aiding and abetting illegals in their state in America. It's a violation of federal law. Chris Walsh, Karen Spilka, Jamie Eldridge, and Jack Lewis have no concern about federal law. They don't care about federal law.
And the city of Framingham does not either, because the school department is the one that's giving them that building, okay, on Flag Drive. They're letting them have that building so that they can teach ESL to the adult, illegal immigrants, mostly illegal immigrants in that program.
Not everybody in the program is illegal, but
80% of them.
But maybe in the Brazilians and whoever's in that program, there's 800 people, 800 people. Most of the Brazilians in that program are illegal.
There's probably 600 people that are
illegal. Right. Yeah. And the town just does a wink, wink, protected by the churches, Jewish, Catholic, and Protestant. They just want these people to learn English, and they're violating federal law. So I don't know, people.
Well, tell them what you did. You wrote.
I wrote a letter. I had a letter in a newspaper called the Boston Broadside. Its website is thebostonbroadside.com. The March 2018 issue on page 21 on the last page, but on the inside. I wrote about the ESL program. I copied that program telling them that you're in violation of federal law and that you could be, the RICO Act could come against you or come against the town, which I hope happens. I hope these people all get arrested. And I just, showed the website where the town meeting members at the time, now we're a city, but at that time, wanted total information on this program. They wanted to know who these people were and everything, and they didn't do one thing town meeting asked. Not one thing. And they talked about this for a couple of years. And we had links to those videos, and they didn't do anything that town meeting asked. How they got away with it is beyond me. And
well, they just
poo-pooed it.
Right.
But town meeting was concerned, well, there shouldn't be people in this program that are illegal, and they didn't care.
Well, so that's it. That's it for that.
Okay, so that's basically it, people. I sent them the city councilors, 11 of them, and the mayor, an actual letter, since they're not answering my emails. An actual letter. My brother brought it down today. They weren't stamped, but they were just in an envelope with their names on the front. And he gave it to whoever he gave it to. And I hope to God she gave that to each one of these people. I don't know. Did she? Who knows?
Hopefully it didn't go.
Hopefully it didn't go in the trash, because we have such a transparent city council and mayor, because she wants everybody to have their input except Joe Rizoli, who wants to talk about illegal immigration and federal law. That's all. I just want to. So I want the town councilor to weigh in on this, and that's what I asked. And let's see what happens.
All right, so
Joe Rizoli, over and out.